Firmly believe that if you work really hard and do what you love, you'll be just fine in life, and particularly if you pursue a career in the arts, you might even do better than you imagine. I tell that story sometimes just because I think that if you're considering a career in anything really, I don't think this is just exclusive to journalism, but I think it also applies to the arts and finance and I'm sure academia. The world is an incredibly competitive place, and it's only becoming more so. And if there's something you love, I think that's great. And if you're talented at it, that is even better. But even so, you still have to be willing to get your teeth kicked in continually before you achieve even a modicum of success. And then once you achieve that, you still have to be willing to put up with a bunch of rejection and no's before you can really get anywhere. That President Starr said to me, which stuck with me, was that look out into the world and see if there's a gap that needs to be filled. See if there's something that you really want to do that isn't being done, and then go and do it. And that you don't actually need additional degrees in order to do that. And that really rung true to me, especially since I probably couldn't have gotten into any graduate school in the country, given my low GPA when I was here at Oberlin. So I took that as a sound piece of advice, and when I went back to New York City, which is where I'm from, when I graduated, one of the things that I had grown up loving was living on 23rd Street. As I think I said earlier, I grew up in New York. I was living on 23rd Street when the towers fell on 9/11. And it was a transformative event for me in a lot of ways. In the blink of an eye, I lost friends and schoolmates and people that I had sort of barely known except as a name on a Rolodex that maybe I had called at one point while I was a reporter, just vanished. And in the weeks and months that followed, the air, and it was a really interesting thing to look back on because I realized that as a writer, you're almost like a child. You don't really necessarily get to pick and choose the events that form you and that dictate what it is that you can write about. Prior to 9/11, I had never been to a military base. I had never written a story about the military. I was writing about labor unions and the internet, basically.